As a 40, most of my life.
There's only limited food.
Small bamboo frame attached to the nets that hang below this platform are fabric fans. They get crusted up with barnacles over time and are a kind of perfect nesting point for these baby glass lobsters. And the idea is pretty simple. The lobster larvae, just days old, are drawn to the glow. And as they drift along looking for a new home, they settle into the folds of these fans throughout the night.
In the morning like this, guys are coming out here, shaking them down and looking for any of the tiny glass lobsters that are nestled in the nets.
The larvae drop onto this fine net that is stretched across the bamboo flooring, keeping them from slipping right back into the water. To me, these guys are nearly impossible to spot, tiny transparent specks. But the fisherman, he spots them almost instantly, scooping them up, slipping them into an old drink bottle for storage.
These guys move really quickly. I mean, it's one net onto the other. There are thousands and thousands of these floating platforms all around. As you can imagine, there's all kinds of stuff that's getting caught up in this. Like there's shrimp, there's baby crabs, there's all kinds of other plankton and larvae from the various other ocean creatures. Most of that, at least I hope, is getting dumped back into the ocean. We're just after the lobster larvae.
And we're hauling up net after net. It's non-stop. Every single one of them is packed. There's not a single dud. I'm honestly blown away by just how many of these things there are.
So far, we've pulled 2 nets. Third one is coming up now. It looks to me like there's a good 12, 13 glass baby lobster, lobster larvae, whatever you want to call them. They're worth a lot of money, and we're rolling in them this morning.
And before long, our water bottle is starting to look like the world's tiniest, cutest micro aquarium.
Kind of wild. I think it seems like a good day, and we caught an absolute ton of lobster larvae.
I'm pretty impressed.
Is this a good catch?
But the fisherman tells me that it's not like it used to be.
Bad. This is bad? And usually they get 30.
Yeah, at least.
At least 30.
This number of lobster larvae is not an impressive haul for the night.
Man, that is crazy.
The sun is rising fast, and most of the farmers have already pulled in their catch for the morning. Some of the nets get snagged on reef below and need to be winched up.
So this has to have 15 in it to make it worth it. Wow. Oh. Two more. Oh, they can spot these like right away.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys, that is a wrap. I'd guesstimate maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 glass lobsters right in this little tub here. These guys are going to be smuggled all the way to Vietnam. I'm just kidding. They're going through some official government agency that takes all the profits. That's the real story.
But before we wrap things up, we swing by one last platform, just to see the state of play a little bit further.
Whew. Can you ask him, did he catch many this morning? This is his first net?
This is the first.
You know, guys, it is crazy how nice these Indonesians are. Like, we're just pulling up on a boat next to their floating platform as they're doing their thing in the morning, and they're just letting us hop on board, help out, just film away. It's not like we pre-arranged this. Incredibly nice people. Well done, Indonesia. It's the first baby lobster I've ever spotted myself. All right, that's 3 so far. Kind of working our way through.
And once again, things look pretty solid to me. It's larvae after larvae. But in the end, we pull up about the same number as on the last platform. Around 25 or so. Not bad, the fisherman tells me, but not really good. Alright, last net, and then we're gonna visit a smuggler. Or an ex-smuggler now, and like an official dealer, an authorized dealer. AD, if you will. It's like he just deals in lobster, not Rolex. Back on shore, we meet up with Abbas. Abbas runs a small smuggling operation, packing operation. And he walks me through exactly how it works. Each day, he buys up around 1,000 of these glass lobsters from local fishermen, sorting them by species.
He has to buy them and then sell them again, right?
Yeah, Vietnam.
Oh, you sell them to Vietnam?
Yeah.
Huh.
Only a few of these can be sold for export. The most common and most resilient in the region is Panalarus homoris, the scalloped or sandy spiny lobster. Then there's the painted spiny lobster, Panalarus versicolor, and the ornate spiny lobster, Panalarus ornatus, locally called the pearl lobster. These last 2 varieties are worth much more because of the striking colours that they will develop as adults. But they're also more fragile and a lot slower to raise. There's plenty of other spiny lobster species in the waters here too. This place is a bona fide lobster paradise. But there's just no demand for farming these, no demand for export. So instead, Abbas keeps the wild caught ones, sell to locals. They sell dirt cheap. Honestly, the price is kind of shocking.
Guys, these are $10 per kilo, these lobsters. I mean, they're small, but that is absolutely wild. And mainly just because they cannot be farmed.
I later find out that these species simply grow too slow for the farming process. Packing is pretty straightforward. Just a bit of seawater in a bag, fill it with air, and that's it. It's pretty simple, but it works.
Is this about how many lobsters he gets per day?
Around 1,000 a day.
He gets 1,000 a day?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys, so these guys here, these super young, still clear lobster larvae are the pride and joy. These are the prized outcomes, the prized, most highly valued lobster that you can get in this area. The smaller ones like these that are just 1 or 2 days old, they are not yet eating. So they have high mortality rates, maybe due to the fact that they don't have the heat when they're shipped. I'm not really quite sure, but these guys get sold for export, whereas the sort of more solid colored ones that I can point out, they are getting sold to the local markets. And that is what is kind of a big complaint from some of the lobster farmers here. They're really struggling with that fact. The mortality is just far higher.
$5 before.
$5.
Yeah. 80,000.
So everyone made a lot of money at one point in time. But now it's kind of like getting locked down.
Mid-conversation, the neighbour, a fellow dealer, arrives with an impressive catch from a nearby village. He swiftly dumps them out, counting each one meticulously.
You have no idea. I mean, you must have hundreds and hundreds of baby lobsters here, and there are 2 separate kind of tanks.
The older specimens, tinged with sandy hues, he sets aside to raise for himself. And the younger lobster, the completely transparent, are earmarked for export to Vietnam, as these are the only ones that reach the export standard. Counterintuitively, the younger a lobster is, the more readily it will take to a farmed environment.
Wow, that's a lot, huh? That is crazy.
He's got just handfuls of these little guys. They're in huge numbers, and it is remarkable just how much handling they can withstand without issue. A little bit of context right here. This tiny see-through little creature is one of the most smuggled animals on Earth.
A boat was also seized as evidence. It carried 52 boxes of 277,800 lobster seeds of the ornate spiny lobster and scalloped spiny lobster.
It is a baby lobster, or lobster larvae, or glass lobster, or whatever you want to call them. They are the juvenile form of what most people know as spiny lobsters. But if you ask me, they're craze. And when they're all grown up, they can sell for a cool $90 to $150 per kilo in China. That single kilo of lobster larvae, once all grown out, could be worth upwards of $1 million. The supply chain is pretty basic. Vietnam does all the farming, China does all the buying, but there's an issue. Vietnam doesn't have enough lobster larvae. Stage 1, the free-for-all. Indonesia is rich in lobster larvae though, lobster seed as it is sometimes called. They have 10 to 20 times the amount in their waters than Vietnam does. And once word got out that demand was that high, it was just a complete gold rush.
And so, are there any limits on like how many lobsters the fishermen can catch, or can they just catch as many as they want?
Nggak ada batasan. There's no limitation for that.
Just anything they want.
Yeah.
Entire towns in Lombok and Sumbawa revolved entirely around catching these lobster larvae. Everybody was making money. The fishers, the traders, the exporters. It was the good times. Look, almost everybody. There was one group that was getting left out, and that was the Indonesian lobster farmers. They were getting left behind. They couldn't compete with Vietnam's prices, they weren't able to buy the lobster seed, and they were going out of business. Stage 2, the ban. So the government, they cracked down. In 2016, under Ministerial Regulation number 56, they banned all lobster seed exports entirely.
Galakan budidaya.
The idea was both to protect wild stocks, but in truth, the idea really was to onshore the development of the lobster industry, to put Vietnam out of business and just sell to China directly. And because bans always just work, all of the lobster traders, farmers, exporters, they just stopped doing it. They found other jobs, they moved on. I'm just kidding. That's obviously not how things work. A single kilo of these larvae was fetching hundreds of thousands of dollars. People don't just stop, they just went underground. Smuggling exploded. Lava flowed through Singapore to Vietnam, and it just became one of the most smuggled creatures on Earth. The ban did give a brief win for Indonesian lobster farmers. With exports halted, they finally had access to cheap and, crucially, really high-quality lobster seed. For a while, they could grow their own lobsters and sell them to China. But it just never really worked out. Vietnam had this massive edge. They had the infrastructure, the experience, the better logistics with the location to China. Indonesia just couldn't catch up, and the ban, all it really was doing was crushing this massive fishery industry, pushing thousands of people, forcing them into the black market, and essentially putting them in jail. Keen to see the whole picture, I decide to visit a local lobster farmer. He takes me out on his boat, navigating past what should have been many thriving farms. They fill this entire bay. But as we move through the water, the reality hits in. He points it out. Most of these farms now are empty. They're wiped out, he tells me. Things just aren't what they used to be. The Indonesian lobster farmer is struggling to get by.
All have bamboo pools and being tied in the middle. So there's no lobster in farming and operation.
So they've kind of just let this whole farm go to waste.
When they get info, hey, police catch the smuggler,
There is some baby lobster.
then they start.
Okay, so we are on the sort of like floating farm of Mr. Eki right now, and it is kind of interesting. He separates his ponds out into the two varieties that they have here. What? That's crazy. So this is about 1 week old.
Lobster larvae grow fast, and as they take on color, they start to look a little bit more like the prize crays that they'll become.
That's the pearl. That's the sand.
Wow, it's crazy. You can tell right away. Thank you for showing me your farm, Mr. Eki. Can you tell me, how long have you been doing this lobster farming business?
So he started the business on 1998.
So they've been doing it for a long time in this area.
All of the species that will be farmed start out in the exact same suspended farms. He's got hundreds of crays swimming around in suspended nets. Once they've been grown out to a larger size, they are then separated into the individual species, as they tend to grow at different rates.
Alright, so there seem to be way more sand lobster than there were the pearl lobster. I'd say there's got to be, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 sand lobster in there. It is pretty surprising just how many lobsters you can fit in a pretty small space.
So in 2020, the government caved. Stage 3, the middle ground. In 2020, the government, they tried to compromise. They issued Ministerial Regulation number 12, where exports were allowed again, but only under really tight quotas and through licensed government middlemen institutions. On the ground, how it worked was fishers could now sell to the government-approved buyers, but only at a fixed price that is far below what the free market was offering.
Kabupaten, so he cannot set a higher price than that
So
because
he's got to accept whatever price they give it to him.
yeah,
Wow. So really, the government's the one taking the profit.
we cannot confirm that, but we can assume.
Right. That's why there's like way more smugglers, right? That's crazy.
And the lava also had to be of the highest quality. The best stuff was going to get exported, while the rest of it was to be handed to local farmers. Sound fair? It's not.
With the smuggling, right, the baby lobster is kept in the pool, not in the wild captives like in the sea, right? So the one that he can buy to grow here is actually the baby lobster that has been caught,
Held captive for a
held
while.
captive for a while. So it's not really good quality, and he already anticipated as, you know, because it's a bad baby,
Yeah.
it's gonna go bad here as well.
Yeah.
So from the 100 he will buy, maybe only left to 20 or 30 alive.
The fishers now earn a fraction of what they used to on the free market, so they hate it. The farmers, they get stuck with these subpar seed that suffer huge mortality rates, so they're not happy either. And it's pretty clear that someone in the government was just pocketing a lot of money.
The problem is really that he can't get enough of the baby lobsters, is that correct?
The thing is the baby lobster is not there, or even though it's there, it's rejected quality, right? The quality is not that good. That's the issue.
Bila keluar soalnya kan sana harga lebih tinggi dari
The government or the people that finding the baby lobster in wild captives, right, is really wants to sell it outside the country because the price is better to selling to other countries rather than to the local farmer like him.
That's kind of like a market they want to encourage.
Yeah,
something like
because
that.
also selling price in other countries can be double up. Like he willing to go to pay like 10,000 rupiah, but if you sell it outside the country, one baby lobster can sell until 35,000 rupiah.
You can kind of see why it may be a better business to just sell the babies.
And he has a theory. You see, he believes he's been getting the rejects. Things have been getting worse. The specimens that don't reach the export cut for a reason. They have higher mortality rates. Not only is he paying a high price, he's kind of getting the duds. The middlemen were sitting comfortably, skimming the margin off every transaction, just a government-issued monopoly. Someone was banking it all, and it's been this complete cluster. Ministers have been jailed, laws have been written, corruption is rampant, but at the end of the day, someone's still making a ton of cash. And it's not the fishers, from what I can see. Sure as hell ain't the farmers. Something tells me it's still those government-appointed middlemen.
Turret plate will fall soon. Shut down.
We've got 6 half-finished, Rost.
Killing spree.
Food available on these islands, so we're living from the ocean.
All right, so the plan is we either want to get a giant lobster or something delicious. We're gonna catch it and cook it because we've got no food. We're living off whatever we can catch.
You have to chase him.
There was
Ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
These giant lobsters that we're after aren't the normal ones that you guys see in these videos. They're a lot more darker. They're called brown spiny lobsters, and they're nocturnal, but they really do hide up in the deepest, darkest crevices during the, oh, there's a bommy just up here, during the day. So while we're looking around for lunch, we're also checking all the crevices, hopefully to find a big old lobby there. Just come across a bommy here, sort of what I'm looking for. Oh, ready. Oh, God.
All you can see is the tips of his feelers.
Go from that side, yeah. Where they can go, it's easier.
My lips are absolutely cooked, and I ran out of zinc because there's none available on the island. We've got sunscreen. There's all these islands in the distance. We're gonna head to that one over there. It goes like deep to shallow, and where the breakers are, we'll start hunting around there later on. That's probably our best chance out the back for a big, giant lobster.
It's so blue. Oh my god, it doesn't even look real.
Oh! Land ahoy, baby! Oh, there's literally no footprints here. Just for mine. It's getting cooler and cooler. The bathtub down the bottom's like perfect temperature. Oh, big skipper. Skipper. Setting out the anchor. Oh, it's getting deep here. My little legs are working hard. I'm doing burnouts on the sand. It is so hot right now. I just chucked the adventure shirt and the bucket hat on. Youngbloods.co if you guys want to cop some of this. Vicky's swimming with the sharks right there. And Haydos is out the back having a swim around, looking for crays or maybe a fish for lunch.
You might be able to just like poke it with it and see if it comes out. Have a look, you'll see what I mean though. As I dove, it came past, went down a deeper hole.
You'll probably hit this one if we go over it. That's pretty bloody rocky, if I've ever seen a rocky rock. I could probably just go with my mask and have a real quick look.
The absolute horse in there. It's like a hole in the rock, you have to swim into it. No way, a football caught it in there.
Yeah. There you go, buddy.
Hey, Freddie! Freddie, no, he's coming here. Freddie!
Look at the size of this cray that we got. I literally had to swim inside a bommy to get this. But that right there is exactly what we were after. Well, storm's pushed over, so it's the perfect time to eat the lobster. This right here is a brown spiny lobster. And a bloody good size one. They do get a little bit bigger than this, which is good because we didn't want to take the biggest of big. We did see some absolute monsters on our journey looking for this guy, but they're so hard to grab. They go right up into the nooks and crannies, but we are stoked. So get this going, hopefully. Woo! A little bit of fire and a beautiful tropical storm. Get that nice and hot. All I'm gonna do with this guy is gonna take the tail off. We definitely don't want to waste any of it. Just like that. That was too easy. Off like that. This crayfish has obviously been dealt with humanely. It's not alive in any way. Whoa, we got some sizzling over here. Bit of rain action. Cooking in the rain. The legs are probably some of the best parts of the crayfish. There's meat in there, so we'll keep that. Alright, gonna chuck the legs in the pan. Just like that. Nothing too fancy. That won't take too long. Literally maybe like 10, 15 minutes until it goes red and you're on. In the meantime, I'm gonna split this guy. If you want one of these knives, youngbloods.co. The underside is always softer, just straight down. Just like that, like this way. Then I sort of like, just like give myself a guide by like pushing the knife all the way through, like that. Got to watch out for them, they're razor sharp and they'll stab you. I think that happens to me every single friggin' time I do this. Give these a little twirl. Oh, it's already started to smell so good. All right, flip her over. Then you've got your marker there. And same thing on this side. It's obviously a lot tougher, but just it's a lot easier to use like meat scissors or something like that, but when you're on the tropical island and all you have is a knife, this is your best option. Go down there. Big place. There we go. Oh man, they smell good. Alright, let's move them to the side. Shell down first, and it basically will like cook in its own shell. Legs, on this side. On that side. Mate. Now, that right there is a bloody feed on a tropical island in a storm in the middle of bloody nowhere, living our best lives. Can't wait to taste this. Don't go anywhere. Might go for a flick while we're waiting. While that lobster's cooking, probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just depending on how hot that pan gets. Just gonna chuck along this like, I don't know, this channel through here with the light gear. See if I can catch something. If it's like a little trevally or something, I might chuck it on the pan. If not, just a bit of fun. Got like a rock.
Something big after as well.
I think I literally have a rock.
No.
It's how hooked guys. What do I have? What is that? What? The cod. That's awesome.
Looks sick.
Look at that. Oh! Look at that! Oh, look at the colours! Oh, put him in the water there, get the hook out. Sorry, mate. Ah! There you go. Look at that. Oh! That's your problem. That was cool. Oh, it's falling out. Put that there. Couple of little legs ready. Obviously the crew's gonna smash the rest of that. But for now, this big chunk here, the beautiful tropical island lobster is mine. Cheers, guys. Oh my God. It just fell apart in my mouth. Maybe a little bit of water in there. On the rain, made like steam. Yes. Because it was steaming. Yeah. Meant to do that. Bye.
I don't need hard steel, but
life studying physics, I must admit that I had a big misconception. I believed that every object has one single trajectory through space, one single path. But in this video, I will prove to you that this is not the case. Everything is actually exploring all possible paths all at once. So let's start with a simple thought experiment. Say you're at a beach when all of a sudden you see your friend struggling out in the water. You want to go help him as quickly as possible, so which path should you take to get there? The shortest path is a straight line, so you could head directly towards him, but you can run faster than you can swim, and this path requires more swimming. So alternatively, you could run down the beach to minimize the distance through the water. But now the total distance is longer than it needs to be. So the optimal path, it turns out, is somewhere in between. To be precise, it depends on the speeds at which you can run and swim. Now, you might recognize this mathematical relationship because it is the exact same law that governs light passing from one medium into another. So light also takes the fastest path from point A to point B. What's weird about this is that as humans, we can see where we want to go and then figure out the fastest route. But light? I mean, how does light know how to travel to minimize its journey time? Now, here is where my misconception comes in. I shine a laser beam. The light just goes in one direction. I throw a ball. The ball just goes in one direction. You know, I would have answered, there is nothing strange about this. Light sets off from point A in some direction, and then a little while later, it encounters a new medium. And due to local interactions with that medium, it changes direction, ending up at point B. If you later find that of all the possible paths, light took the shortest time to get from A to B, I wouldn't think it was optimizing for anything. I would just think that's what happens when light obeys local rules. But now I will prove to you that light doesn't set out in only one direction. Instead, it really does explore all possible paths. And the same is true for electrons and
Where should you
photons,
go to eat the
all
best
quantum
seafood in Phuket? Hey everyone, it's Mark Wiens, and in this video, I'm gonna be taking you to eat at 3 local Thai restaurants that all serve extremely fresh seafood. We'll eat some famous seafoods you probably recognize, and some seafoods that might surprise you.
Oh man, that's delicious.
Phuket, an island in southern Thailand, is blessed with just about everything from fish, that fish with curry paste, something you cannot miss, to crabs. Just fresh, steamed, perfect. And combined with flavorful Thai spices and herbs, you're in for an unforgettable Thai seafood tour. We have a lot of amazing seafood to eat, and we're beginning at the first place, right along the beach. This is the spot right here. This restaurant is called Gan Eng Song, or Gan Eng No. 2, and it is a local seafood restaurant in the south of the island. One of the great things about this restaurant is they have live seafood. You're guaranteed extremely fresh seafood. Oh, okay. Live seafood. Okay.
You want to catch it?
Oh, yes. Okay, sure. And these are the local Phuket lobsters, the 7-colored lobsters. Oh, okay. Okay, it doesn't get fresher than this. And one of the specialties here is the local 7-colored Phuket rock spiny lobsters. Oh, yeah, that is fresh. They have this entire hut here dedicated to the fresh live seafood tanks, and you can choose what you want. But even if you don't choose what you want, you know you're gonna get fresh seafood because they keep everything, I mean, most things live. And also they specialize in blue swimmer crabs. That's something almost everyone orders as well, so we've gotta have that. Okay, so he's gonna get started on one of the fish grilled. So this is the trevally fish. Now it comes over here to the grill on a, oh, so it just goes onto a banana leaf, just sits on a banana leaf. So on goes the coconut shell. Oh, and immediately that starts to ignite because it's quite dry. It starts to ignite and immediately smoke. You can see the smoke pouring from that coconut husk. And that's all gonna embed into the fish resting on a banana leaf over the grill. Man, it's almost like a smoke pit barbecue they have back here. Such a cool setup, and all for their special smoked coconut husk smoked fish. And so, actually, that takes a long process because it's an indirect smoke, and just using that low heat just from the smoke of the coconut husk to roast that fish. So it takes a long time to cook. It takes about an hour depending on the size of the fish. So that's gonna slow cook, but in the meantime, luckily, they have one ready for us.
Like a local seaweed.
It's like a local seaweed.
But
Oh,
they
okay.
will grow in the clear water and very clean water only.
Oh, okay. Been to Phuket many times, but I've never eaten this before, so it's gonna be my first time. No, my first time. For my first time. And we're gonna see what they make with this. Very seasonal for only 2 weeks per year. Only available maybe for 2 weeks per year. Okay, so first, there's a little bit of flour, and then curry paste goes in, an egg goes in.
Lamb water.
Okay. So she's just gonna make a batter to deep fry that vegetable. Okay, so she's bringing that over to the deep frying station. Okay, come.
Chili.
Oh, okay, okay. The curry paste. Okay, okay.
It make your taste.
Oh, better, yes. Oh, so he dunks the entire leaves in that batter with curry paste and then directly into the oil. And then we've also got some fresh shrimp as well. Fresh shrimp, get a coating as well. She's placing that directly on top of the leaves. Perfect. You can see all those leaves already floating to the surface. And then she strategically places the shrimp on the top of the leaves so they float to the top. What a technique. Oh, the entire thing flips. Oh. It's like a whole sheet. And I think that's ready. Golden, crispy. Oh, that's so aromatic too. Okay, well that's ready. And they actually mentioned that everything else has already been cooked. They've finished steaming all the crabs and everything is good to go. So she said, head back to the table deck to the beach and we're gonna start eating.
นี่ปลามงเผา
ปลามง อันนี้ปลามง
Everything extremely fresh, top quality, you're guaranteed top quality seafood. Everything is so vibrant, so colorful. I'm at one of those meals where I'm having a little bit of meal fright, stage fright. I don't even know where to dig in because it all looks so good. What should we start with? Okay, let's start with that fish. So this is the trevally, which has been wrapped in banana leaves and then smoked and grilled over coconut husks. And you can see they peel back the skin on one side and you can just see that flesh is so meaty, so firm, and yet it remains moist. So I'll take some of the fish off the side there. Let's just taste it first on its own, but it does have a sauce that it goes with. Seriously, even before you get it into your mouth, the smoky aroma of that coconut husk goes up your nose a little bit. It's moist, it's firm, it's embedded with that smokiness. Oh, it's delicious. Okay, so I'll take another piece of that fish. And she said this is the sauce that should be used, which is, I think it's a tamarind. Is it a tamarind sauce? With a little bit of chilies with some shallots in there as well. Okay, so I'll add this there. That sauce is sweet and sour with the crunch of the shallots and those chilies in there. And even with that sauce, that smokiness of the fish just comes out as you take a bite. I love the texture of that fish. I love everything about it. Okay, next up for the lobster. Oh, and again, what happened was I saw the live lobsters, but then they just decided kind of to surprise us with the dish that they made. I didn't even know what they were cooking. All of a sudden, the entire lobster, the 1 kilo lobster comes out steamed and just blossoming like a, blossoming, the meat just blossoming Oh man, so this looks incredibly good. There's so much meat in the tail. I think I'll just grab it with my fingers. That might be oh, so what they've done is I think they've just insided it out. You see the shell? They've just sliced the shell down the side and then just pulled out the, look, you can actually take, you can take this entire piece. It's so convenient. Oh, it's just sliding out of the head. The meat is sliding out. Oh, look at that. Oh, some of the tamale has come out. That's huge. That tail. Oh man, and the way that they've cut it is so convenient. That might be the most convenient lobster cutting I've ever seen in my life. Okay, grab a half of this. Oh, look at that. A whole side of lobster. For my first bite, I don't think it needs any sauce or any butter or any dipping.
Don't even try.
Oh, wow. And that's the bite with some of the tamale. That complexity of flavor. From the head juices, the head butter. Oh man, and you really taste the freshness of this lobster. Sometimes you'll get lobster like this, and you can tell it's not fresh because it has a mushy texture, or the texture is not quite right. This one is firm. Oh, that's one of the better lobsters I've had in Phuket. Incredible, fresh, firm. Just the quality of the lobster and the texture of the lobster is just perfect. Okay, but she did mention that we should dip it into the butter sauce. That's one of the options. Let's give this a nice dip. Oh, just let it rattle around in the butter. Jiggle it around. Oh man. That's a sensational lobster. Oh man, with that butter, adding that richness, a little bit of saltiness. I also want to try it in the Thai seafood sauce. Okay, into the Thai seafood sauce, which includes garlic, chilies, probably fish sauce, and lime juice, and maybe a little bit of sugar as well. Oh, I mean, because the lobster is so good, you can't go wrong with anything. You could eat it plain and be happy. Butter, Thai seafood sauce. That's just world-class lobster. Next up for the bua tod, we saw her making the fried seasonal vegetable with shrimp on top. And I love how that vegetable just makes like a nest for the shrimp. Again, I think I want to try it first on its own, but then there is a dipping sauce that goes with it. And the beauty of this is it's deep fried to a crisp, so you can eat the shrimp, the entire shrimp, the head, the shell, and all. You gotta wait for all those flavors to come to hit your mouth. From the curry paste, to the flavor of the leaf, to the flavor of the shrimp and the shell. But I love the texture of it. The leaf itself has just a little bit of a nutty taste to it, but it's not overpowering. Kind of a mellow leaf. She said again, it's very seasonal. Right now it's only available for 2 weeks, so that's why it's so rare to get. But it's so crispy. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, I love it. There's other similar vegetables that they also make this same dish with. She said sometimes they use morning glory, but another one is called bai lep krut, which is common in the South. This same dish, but this is a vegetable I've never had before. My first time. Okay, but then I will dip it into the special sauce. That goes great with that fried batter. A little bit sweet, just a little bit sour and a little bit salty. Just goes well with something that's crispy and salty though. Kind of mellows out the flavor a little bit. Next up, I'm gonna try their own homemade homok. And homok is like a fish, kind of a steamed fish custard. It's a custard, that's what it is. But this is made with, but not a sweet custard. It's made with coconut milk. It's made with, they said, made with king mackerel. And then also should be curry paste in there, as well as you can even see the shreds, the fine shreds of makrut, lime leaves in there as well. And then it's steamed within banana leaf packet. You can see how juicy it remains because it's steamed in that leaf. And then also I think there's it might be a piper lalat or a beetle leaf, wild beetle leaf on the bottom as well, steamed. So you can see how juicy it is. Oh, so there's pieces of the king mackerel in there. And then the coconut milk and the curry paste just kind of curdles into a custard. And I'll put this onto my rice. This should be eaten with rice.
Take it from the top.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. That is amazing. It really is like a curry custard, but savory with fish, with the richness of the coconut milk. It's so juicy as well. And I love that fresh citrusiness of those lime leaves in there, the lemongrass in there, the turmeric in there. Oh, man. Oh, that's phenomenal. And it goes down so easily as well. And as you do take a bite, you can feel a little bit of chili in there as well. And there's all those aromatics from the curry paste that are embedded within it. Another dish we got is gung kapi patsata, and it's stink beans stir-fried with shrimp and shrimp paste. So you've got 2 times shrimp in here. Another dish you gotta eat with rice. Add some more of that shrimp paste sauce. Chili's in here, and I'm gonna take off that shell so that we get some of that shrimp all together with the stink beans. Onions in there as well. Oh, that's such a harmony of flavor. I mean, I love stink beans, one of my favorite ingredients. And then you've got the crunch of the onion, the sweetness of the onion, that umami of the shrimp paste in the sauce, and then these fresh, bouncy shrimp. Yeah, delicious. And then another seafood here, one of their specialties is the steamed blue swimmer crab. Again, as fresh as possible. Let's pick this whole guy up. And I think they've already taken off the top of the shell, or you can go from the apron down here, the crab apron, go pull up, oh, the splatter, and then that will pull off the entire shell. Oh, there's some roe inside of the head as well. But then we can pop open, pop it in half. Oh, don't want to splash too much, but inside of there, you'll get a mix of meat, and there you have a perfect nugget of crab, even with a little bit of roe there.
I'm not like everyone else.
Oh, yes. Man, the silky texture of it, it's so stringy and so sweet. Oh, it's incredible. That's pure, no sauce, no seasoning. Just fresh, steamed, perfect. One of the great things about this seafood restaurant is they know that they're serving the best quality, the freshest seafood. And so there's not, a lot of the dishes are just straight steamed or grilled without much seasoning on them at all, because the seafood itself is what really is the star of the show. And that's definitely why Gan Eng No. 2 is such an incredible seafood restaurant, because of the actual seafood that they get here. That being said, for my next bite of crab, I will go in for the seafood sauce, because garlic and chilies sound good are good with everything, always. Oh, it's a perfect little scooper. You can scoop up that chilies and garlic into a little trough. Oh man. Some of the best crab you can eat on the island. Sweet, silky, juicy. I'm not sure what else you could ever want in a crab. Before we get to the claw though, just look at the body of that blue swimmer crab. That's one of the benefits of these crabs, is that they're small. They look small, but they're full of, just loaded with meat. The meat to shell ratio is impressive. Oh man, with all that roe in there, that has a nutty flavor. So good. And then one more dish that they wanted us to try, and it's not actually seafood at all, it's chicken. It's called gai tom pret. And it's a chicken soup with lots of lemongrass and lots of ginger in here. And then chicken, a boiled chicken soup. But this is another very famous dish that they make here that I think everyone orders. Try that broth. I want to get a piece of that ginger as well. Okay, now I know why everyone orders this dish. Oh, it's so good. The flavor of the ginger infused into that broth. And that broth, you can see, the chicken fat has come out to make it richer and thick. It's kind of murky and almost milky. And you've got the flavor of the lemongrass, the makrut lime leaves in there. Oh man, and the ginger is what really stands out to me. Shallots or onions in here as well. Oh, that broth is incredible. Wow. Okay. Come here for the seafood without a doubt. But also, you've got to have this as a side dish, a little chicken soup. So we have a lot of seafood to eat, but this is one of those seafood restaurants that you can come to and just totally enjoy life. Just chill out, take a bite, sit back, relax, take your time, eat fresh seafood, enjoy the view, take another bite. Maybe go take a stroll on the beach, come back, have a drink, take another bite, eat another crab, eat another bite of fish. But just a paradise of seafood in Phuket. An oasis of calm, relaxation, peacefulness, nature, and just some of the greatest seafood probably that you'll ever eat. It really is superb. Again, this is the type of seafood restaurant where it's almost impossible to get up. You don't want to leave. But the restaurant is called Gan Eng, number 2, highly recommended. Oh, this place is incredible. But we still have a lot more seafood to eat, so we're on our way to the next place. To continue with our seafood tour in Phuket, we drove up the coast, and I'd say we're kind of in the central northern area of the island now, right along the coast with a view of the mangroves. And this is a restaurant that's called Bang Pae Seafood. It's another very famous, locally popular seafood restaurant where we're gonna find some more of the best seafood in Phuket. Great place for kids too, because once you make your order while you're waiting for your food, this is the setting. You can hang out, you can walk around in the mangroves on the beach here, look for crabs, and wait for your meal. Nice.
Together.
And this entire side of the island is actually quite quiet and very peaceful, very green. And actually the next 2 seafood, this one and then the next seafood restaurant that we'll be going to, they're way off the beaten path, way off the main trail of Phuket. You have to make an effort to come to both of these places, but I can guarantee you if you love seafood, they're well worth coming here. I think the food should just about be ready. All the dishes have arrived. So vibrant, so colorful. I think we should start with this dish. Most of the other dishes we're gonna be eating with rice, but this one we're gonna eat with these noodles called sen mi, rice noodles. So I'll put this onto my plate, and this curry is called geng na bu. So it's the meat of the crab deshelled and then made into a really thick, rich curry. You can see the pepper in there, the specks of black pepper in there. You can see the chilies in there. You can smell all the herbs, the makrut lime leaves, and big nuggets of crab. Oh, and thick coconut milk as well. And this is another classic dish of Phuket. And now you can kind of break into those noodles. What's good about those noodles is they just totally absorb that curry immediately. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Even with all of that incredible flavor and the black pepper and the chilies in there, you still taste the freshness and the firmness of that crab. And the sweetness of the crab stands out as well. Oh, and that curry is incredible. It has a sweetness to it. It has a rich coconut milk flavor. But then in the back of your throat, you feel that spice and that warming sensation of the pepper. Oh, man, that's a balance of harmony. That is so good. And then again with those rice noodles, the curry just totally absorbs into it. That's why it works really well together. The next dishes, I'm gonna go in with the rice, so I'll put some rice on my plate. Next dish we have to try is called geng som, which translates to curry, orange curry, or sour curry. And This is one of my all-time favorite dishes in southern Thailand, one of my all-time favorite dishes in life, as I've probably mentioned many times. But it is made with a lot of turmeric, fresh turmeric, garlic, chilies, lemongrass. There can be shallots in the paste as well. And you can see there's this one, I got fish, which is trevally fish, and then also coconut shoots. But if you dig down below there, you can see how thick that curry paste is. You can just see the chili seeds. Oh, that looks fiery and amazingly proper. So before adding that to my rice, I just gotta taste it. Oh, that is incredible. Oh, that's a jolt of flavor. And yet it's still so well balanced. It's spicy. The flavor of the turmeric. You get the saltiness of the shrimp paste in there as well, giving it that incredible umami and balance of saltiness. The crunch of the coconut shoots. Oh, that's a huge amount of flavor. Okay, so I'll add a piece of the fish now to my rice. Okay, and yeah, look how thick that is. Sometimes you get watery getting some. This one is on the thicker side, and you can just see how incredibly chunky that curry paste is. Get some of the fish. Oh, the fish looks perfect as well. Looks like it's cooked perfectly. Oh yeah, fantastic, happiness. And that's one of my, trevally is one of my favorite fish for this dish as well because it's so firm, so muscular, and it holds up with the curry being boiled like that, and then also with the richness and the spiciousness of that curry. Next dish we got is called Muk Pad Nam Dam, which is squid stir-fried in its own black ink. And I love how there's green onions, which are really fragrant in there, and then whole cloves of garlic. This is some of the local squid here. And you can see that sauce. Let me get a little bit more of that sauce, that dark sauce. That's 100% natural, just straight up from the squid itself. Oh, and I want to get that big piece of, that clove of garlic as well. Oh man, the actual softness, the tenderness of the squid is incredible. The flavor of the garlic and the green onions, spring onions infused within it. And then the sauce, it's almost kind of a milky, neutral flavor. It doesn't have a lot of taste to it, but it's just this pleasant, mellow sauce that it provides. Oh, it's delicious. Next dish is called Basai Tod Kamin. And this is a very common local fish, which is, I think it's a type of sandfish, and they marinate it in garlic. Sometimes there can be a pile of garlic and turmeric, but it's marinated in garlic and turmeric, deep fried until crispy, and sometimes you can eat the bones and the face and all. We'll want to give this a nice dip in the seafood sauce, Thai seafood sauce with garlic and chilies, fish sauce. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You bite through all the bones and all. The center bone might be a little bit too hard, but the face, they're completely crispy. Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, so good. And then you can do another dip, and then you can eat the crispy fillets from either side of the fish. Actually, as long as you chew pretty well, you can pretty much eat the entire thing. Center bone and all. And the tail is good too. Yeah. Next dish we got is our melinjo leaves with shrimp, just simply boiled in coconut milk. And there may be a little bit of shrimp paste in there for flavor, as well as a little bit of shallots to give it flavor. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see the shallots in there, but it's all about the melinjo leaves and the shrimp. Let's just try some of that. Oh yeah. That's just soothing. Again, the sweetness of the coconut milk, but you really taste the infusion of shallots, which are boiled within there, and give it flavor. The flavor of the shrimp as well. Then melinjo leaves. I love the flavor of melinjo leaves. They have this nuttiness to them. And guaranteed when you're in the south of Thailand, you'll be eating all fresh coconut milk, hand squeezed probably, fresh for the day. It makes a huge difference. The butteriness, the creaminess, the freshness, and the fattiness of that coconut milk. Such a simple dish, but it's so soothing. Okay, and then finally we did get a plate of seafood fried rice, especially Micah wanted to have this. So we got, there's squid in here, there's shrimp in here, a little bit of vegetables, there's egg as well. I'll take a little bit of this. And one of the reasons that I love to eat fried rice is not so much because of the fried rice, but the condiments that you add in Thailand. which include nampla krik, which is fish sauce and chilies. Season with a little bit of this, a little more of that fish sauce. Also give it a squeeze of lime. Okay, that should be good. And that's one of the best reasons to actually eat fried rice in Thailand, the condiments. Here. Nice and salty from the fish sauce that I added, and that refreshing squeeze of lime juice. But yeah, again, excellent seafood. Everything is fresh, and you'll really get the local flavor of all the dishes when you come here. Okay. I'm gonna circle back around, and we have a lot to eat. That was excellent, outstanding. And if you come here at the peak of a mealtime, or especially on the weekends, this restaurant can be packed, but well worth coming out here. From here, we're gonna continue with the seafood tour. We're gonna head up to the very top of the island, which is where we're gonna find our next meal, seafood meal in Phuket. We are continuing with this Phuket seafood tour. We're at a legendary seafood restaurant, which is all the way on the very north of the island. And actually, if you could see beyond these trees right over there, it's the very northern tip of Phuket Island. And we're very near to the bridge, so close to the bridge that we're actually almost behind the bridge on the bottom side of the bridge. So if you look at the restaurant from the outside from the road, you'll just see this patch of overgrowth like a jungle. And you have to step through this almost like a tunnel of vines and of ferns growing on top, and you're just within this beautiful lush green. It's like an oasis within an island oasis. This restaurant is called Dat Tuai, and they are famous for seafood, but let's see what extremely unique seafood dishes we can try here. We're going straight to the kitchen with the owner, who's very friendly, to see a few of the dishes that we got. Okay, go. So this is one of the dishes that we got, the sandworms. Sandworms. Which in Thai is called Priang Sai. Oh, my God. 21 ปี. Okay. Okay. So 21 years already. She's been had this restaurant for 21 years. And she's gonna get started on the first dish. I think it's gonna be, yes, the sandworms. Sandworms cooked pad cha style. Pad cha means with all these herbs. You can see all the green chili peppercorns in there. The green peppercorns, there's finger root. Okay, first starting with some garlic sauteing down in the oil. Some chilies go in. Oh, immediately those sandworms just kind of curl up. And then all the seasonings go in, some fish sauce, some soy sauce. Oh yeah, and now all the herbs, the finger roots, the peppercorns all go in. That's what makes it the pad cha style. Oh man, that smells incredible. That basil touch at the end. Oh yeah, and he is an amazing chef. And we are sniffling at the nose because of those chilies simmered in that oil. Woo. Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's gonna be good. Our seafood dish that Phuket is very well known for is called Pla Thod Krung, which is a fried fillet, usually a steak fillet, actually a steak cut of fish, which is marinated in a curry paste and either deep fried or shallow fried. And so she's gonna make that next. อันนี้คือปลาอะไรครับ ปลาอะไรครับ ปลากระป๋อง okay. So it's a barramundi, sea barramundi fish, which is quite a common fish in Thailand. And this is going to be with the curry paste. Oh, she just massages the curry paste. Oh, and then it goes into the oil to fry, kind of like a shallow fry. That piece of fish just gets the full curry paste rubbed down. You can see there's turmeric in there. There's probably garlic and lemongrass and shallots. Lots of chilies in there as well. That just gets the full rub down. Then that goes into the oil, and it's going to be shallow fried to make that curry paste crispy and cook the fish all the way through. Here it is. One of the most famous dishes to eat here is the mini sand crabs. Next dish that Auntie is gonna make are these little sand crabs. They're bite-sized little, almost like popcorn little crabs, which I believe are only found on the northern side, Mai Khao Beach in Phuket. And it's actually very rare. You won't find them in other parts of Thailand, and also you won't even find them in other parts of Phuket. But this restaurant is famous for them because we're in the northern region of the island, and she specializes in it, so that's what she's gonna make next. So those mini sand crabs, they get first seasoned. Okay, so she added in some sesame seeds, some garlic in there, a little bit of flour, I think, or cornstarch to make them crispier. And now she's just adding in a little bit of seasoning. Okay.
ไม่มีเลยเหรอเอาเหรอ
Okay.
โทรหาป้าตุมาแล้วถึงแล้วเหรอพี่ผิวดูเครื่องแกง
And then egg, just a little bit of beat up egg goes in. Okay, and that gets all mixed up together. All of that paste is going to coat the little sand crabs to make them extra crispy. Okay, so that whole mixture is ready. She also added some pepper. And now that's going to go into the hot oil. Oh man, those sand crabs just totally boil up, almost like an omelet, because of that egg coating and those spices that she added. Oh, and you can see them starting to turn golden crispy as well. And I think that means they're ready. Pretty much the main dishes that we ordered, but we're still waiting on the fish because they cook that slowly in that oil so that the curry paste starts to crispify onto the fish as it cooks. So it's a real slow cooking process. So I think that needs a few more minutes before that's ready. Okay, the fish is ready. Oh, you can see how that curry paste has thickened. Okay, and that gets finished with some very, very thinly sliced lime leaves. Makrut lime leaves go on top, and a few chilies as well. Oh, that's so aromatic. And then also some beautiful flowers as well go on top as garnish. Kun Ying, who is the owner, she's extremely nice, and you can just feel she's so just kind-hearted, and she puts all of her love into the recipes. And you also notice that when you see the decorations, it's not just food plopped on a plate. She takes care to decorate every single dish with a floral, it's like a botanical floral arrangement on every single plate, including the rice, which is in a whole teddy bear shape with green peppercorns as the eyes. Fresh and still crispy right out of the oil. The garlic, deep fried little sand crabs. And I'm gonna pick one of these guys up, but can you see, you can't even really see the face, but that's the face. They have these little feet. But as soon as you bite down, you know it's a crab. It's almost like a soft shell crab, the flavor. Got that beautiful crunch. There's a little bit of batter in there, and she added an egg as well, and then a little bit of black pepper. But the season is not too strong, not too much. It's all about the flavor of the crab really comes through. And they do serve it with a little bit of sweet chili sauce on the side as well. Dip them in that and pop them in your mouth. Delicious. But you gotta eat them while they're hot, freshly deep fried and crispy. Oh man, they really are like little popcorn crabs. You could just keep popping them. They taste so good. Look at this rice, so beautiful, a teddy bear. It's safe to say that Auntie's passions are food cooking and gardening and flowers, judging from the outside decoration as well as the food decoration. It's almost too beautiful to break. I'm gonna scoot that onto my plate. And then the dish, I cannot wait any longer to try the fried fish with the curry paste. So we have a whole steak fillet. Oh, you can feel how soft that fish is on the inside? Oh, you wanna see that inside right there? It's gonna remain so juicy, so moist. And then with all that thickened, fried, slow fried curry paste on top. Let's put this onto the rice. I don't know whether to start, where to start on the teddy bear. The body, the face is just too beautiful. I'll put that right on top there. Add a bit more of that curry paste on top. Oh, and the oils and the juices and the aromatics of the lime leaves as well. Oh, that's a fish where the flavor just keeps on building in your mouth. At first you take a bite and you're like, oh. But as you continue to chew and it continues to hit your taste buds in all directions, you start to taste the lemongrass in that curry paste, the chilies, the garlic, the shallots, probably some galangal, some turmeric in there as well. Oh man, it's so fragrant. Not too spicy, but extremely fragrant. Has an amazing aroma, and then you get that blast of citrusy flavor from the very finely shaved, very finely sliced makrut lime leaves. Oh, it's delicious. And this is something that's it's a very common dish in Phuket. Something that you have to try. Oh man, it's really good. Oh yeah. And the fish is perfectly cooked as well. Juicy, moist, and fresh on the inside. That fish, incredible. The more I keep eating that and drenching it in that curry sauce, it's just phenomenal. It's one of the better versions I've had in the entire island of Phuket. It's so good. And Auntie Kun Ying, she was explaining to us that a lot of restaurants, they will take that fillet of fish or that steak of fish, they'll deep fry the entire fish and then just scoop on the curry paste. But her version, she doesn't deep fry the fish. She just, as we saw the recipe, she shallow fries it as it simmers and embeds with that curry paste until it starts to thicken. But it's not actually fried, the fish is not crispy, but it's just soaked and absorbed all of that curry paste. Oh, it's phenomenal. It really is the best fried fish curry paste I've had in Phuket. Okay, so this one is the Priang Sai Pad Cha, which is the sandworms. And if you look closely, they have a texture on them. They almost look like little pastas. I think it's called penne, the type of pasta that is the hollow little straw pastas. But this is not pasta at all, even though it looks exactly like it. Look at that texture. Look at all the herbs and chunky ingredients in there. Put this onto my rice, add on a bit more of that sauce. Green peppercorns in there, basil, finger root. Oh man, that's delicious. Oh, that's so good. The only other time that I've eaten this was the last time that I came to this restaurant. It's not a common ingredient that you'll find. Last time I remember them being a little chewier. This one is tender, just a little bit of a chewiness, which gives it a perfect little bite. And then the way it's fried with the pad cha style, all the basil in there, the gingery finger root, the green pepper. Oh man, it's so good. Don't be intimidated by sandworms. They're so tasty. That's another winner, another dish you have to order when you come here. Okay, let's move on to the seaweed salad. And this is a famous grape seaweed that's very famous in Phuket. You'll find it all over. We'll put this onto our plate. She serves it with a somtam style dressing. So kind of sweet and sour with peanuts in it, with some long beans and carrots and tomatoes. And you can put this over and then grab some of the grape seaweed. Delicious, refreshing. The dressing is sweet and sour. You've got that amazing crunch from the seaweed. And this type of seaweed is incredible. It doesn't even have a sea-watery taste to it at all. It's very clean tasting, not too salty, and just a little bit of a I mean, it has an amazing crunch and a little bit of a sliminess as well. Another very popular seafood in Phuket is hoi shak tin, and this is a type of sea snail. Look at that, it's like a bouquet with all the flowers, edible butterfly pea flowers. And this is something you've also got to try when you come to Phuket. There's this little foot, so in Thai it actually is a foot shell because it has this little foot that you pull. You could, okay, I got it. Oh, it keeps on coming. Oh, this one's huge. It keeps on coming. Okay, and then you've got the shell on the inside, the sea snail. This gets a nice little dunking in the seafood sauce. So sweet. Has a nice little chewiness to it, somewhat like squid a little bit, but really good. These are very popular. A lot of Thais absolutely love, my wife included, absolutely loves hoi shak tin. Okay, and then the next dish we got, this one is geng prik baduk thale. So it's a catfish, seawater catfish in a spicy curry, Southern Thai curry. Oh, and if you dig down below there, you can see all the curry paste full of black pepper, full of chilies. Oh, that looks rich and just full of spice. I'll take some of this, slices of the catfish, put it onto my rice. Okay, onto my rice. Going for another scoop of that curry. You can actually smell the black pepper in it and see the black pepper. Okay, and then this could be a little bit bony, but you have to kind of just feel your way with your spoon into the side. Take off that creamy, you can tell how creamy it is in your spoon. All right. Delicious. Immediately you taste the black pepper in there. The chilies, it's not sweet at all. Has a sharp saltiness, and then the catfish just kind of melts in your mouth. Oh, so good. One more dish actually that I almost forgot. This is the yam mangkut, which is the mangosteen salad, which she recommended and said that it's in season. You can see all these herbs on top, and then the mangosteen is down below. Cashews, tomatoes, a variety of herbs in here. The seed end has got the sweetness of that mangosteen, contrasted by the salty fish sauce and dressing. That contrast of sweet and sour. That contrast of sweet and salty, delicious. So juicy, so refreshing. Everything here, really outstanding. And you just notice the quality and the care that is put into every dish. Circling back over to the fish curry paste. Oh man, everything, really. You can't make a bad decision here. Everything is good. But that fish with curry paste, oh, that is something you cannot miss. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call this sandworm pasta. Texture is better than I remember. Oh, that was a phenomenal meal. And my taste buds are still coated in the flavor of that curry paste. And Kun Ying, the owner, she's so friendly, so hospitable. But what a seafood tour it's been. I'll have all three of the restaurants listed in the description box below. But if you love to eat seafood, Phuket is an absolute paradise. And I want to say a big thank you to you for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe now for lots more food and travel videos. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.
Saddle? I know. An enemy is unstoppable. I'm above.
You have been slain.
Guilty as charged.
Shut down. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Jojo Siwa. Even just saying her name elicits a involuntary response from your body, having your face kind of like crumple up like you just ate a warhead or something really sour. because you always know when JoJo Siwa's name comes up in conversation, it's something embarrassing. Now, I will say, on my short list of idols, she does make it into the top 5 because I think she is truly the best dog shit dancer this species has ever produced. And I am a big enthusiast of bad dancing, so her classic Karma's a Bitch Seizure, as well as her guilty pleasure Stinky Treasure dance routine here. This whole one is a masterpiece because there's not a single move here that looks good. Especially this finale, this is by far my favorite part, where it's kind of like some kind of monster walk. That's like a walk cycle a rubber hose cartoon would use when a villain shows up to the scene. But the point is, I love bad dancing, and no one does it worse than she does. Many of you know, I'm actually somewhat of a pioneer myself, the creator of the classic Where's My Hug At? And I've actually been in the lab cooking some new stuff. I don't have a name for this yet, but it kind of combines the Habbo Hotel dance animation with a little bit of like robotic Roomba maneuvers, so you can do like little circles with it. But I'm already getting lost in the sauce. I'm not here to talk about JoJo Siwa's dancing, I'm here to talk about her scamming. You can now pay $900 for the VIP package to be an unpaid roadie for JoJo Siwa. If that sounds familiar, it's because Gene Simmons just announced this exact same deal for $12,500. I made a video on that like 2 weeks ago. So JoJo Siwa really just took a page out of Gene fucking Simmons' playbook here. It's almost one-to-one. She copied Gene Simmons' homework. So here's what you get for the VIP package. The Dream Guest experience. You get 1 general admin ticket. You can watch the show from any designated audience area of your choice. You get an exclusive invitation to JoJo's live show setup before Q&A and sound check with JoJo. You get to help her put together the show with song selection input, which I'm just going to call fucking barnacles on because there's no way she's going to let any goober who pays $900 for this get to have any say in what she performs. Like, this is definitely already pre-selected shit. An exclusive autograph of JoJo memorabilia worn during the show, so you'll get to wear her sweaty clothes that she performed in. Yeehaw. Access to her pre-show sound check and a Q&A. A pre-show meet and greet and a photo opportunity in front of the VIP backdrop, so that way everyone will know you wasted $900 so they can shoot spitballs at you and make fun of you. VIP exclusive merch, a commemorative VIP laminate and lanyard, early entry into the building with priority access, pre-show merch and shopping opportunity, a VIP host. So you're not just working for free, unpaid labor, you are paying to have the privilege of working for free for JoJo as a roadie. It's a beautiful scam, it really is, and I actually think there will be people that make this purchase. I just have a strong hunch that there actually will be some pitiful souls out there spending $900 to get fucking shit-stained breeches that JoJo wore during the show and setting up the show for her for free. But maybe I'm just being a Scrooge. Let's hear it from JoJo herself as she tries to sell us on this dream VIP package experience, because maybe there's more to it than meets the eye.
I mean, there's so much to tease. I am really excited because I wanted to create a show that wasn't just a concert, right? I have all these songs that I love to sing, but I was like, I want to do something more. I want to create, you know, a party environment. I want to create something that feels very, you know, immersive, interactive, intimate. And so I really did that with this show. And so, you know, you're going to get the concert that you want to see, right? But then...
How innovative. Making a concert into a big party. AKA... what concerts kind of already are in the first place. This is a bunch of mumbo-jumbo here. This is gobbledygook. Like, you're just describing a concert. I just went to a Deftones concert. That shit was a great big party. It was a lot of fun. I don't exactly know what she's going to do to make it more of a party. I guess maybe she'll toss a beach ball around that everyone can start hitting, and maybe she'll, like, plant kegs and beer pong tables and flip cup around there. Like, I have no idea what she's doing to make it more of a party. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you she so desperately wants to be unique, and it is so cringe how hard she tries to stand out with like weird fashion choices, like really off-the-wall stuff. She does it on purpose, leaning into it full well knowing people make fun of her for it, but it's just, to me, kind of sad how hard she wants to be viewed as like really quirky and zany for the things that she wears when she performs and stuff. So like in here, she's got like the football pads on. I don't even really know what that is. It looks like the armor the Saiyans wore like when Nappa and Vegeta came down and met Goku for the first time. But like if it was set in the My Little Pony universe instead of Dragon Ball.
There's going to be a DJ set run by me. There's going to be an interactive game with the audience where they have a chance to win a sick prize.
It's going to be beyond sick. It's going to be dope. I have no doubt that prize is going to go ballistic. It'll be like a fucking half-eaten Subway sandwich that she had for lunch that she'll toss into the crowd if you complete her like trivia game or whatever she's going to play with the audience.
And I read that there is a chance for fans to get close and personal with you.
There is.
What can you tell us?
There's one, and this is the like most exclusive VIP, where you actually are gonna get to come during while we're like loading in the show, and you're gonna get to kind of like help us set it up and make sure things are right and test out, you know, the drum with me or the DJ booth with me. You're gonna kind of.
You're describing a job, JoJo. This is labor. You're supposed to be paid for these things, not pay for the privilege of doing them for you for free. It's an interesting proposition. Gene Simmons really did just blow open a whole new door for insufferable assholes to exploit their fans here for these VIP packages. I don't know if this was common before Gene Simmons, but I'm pretty confident JoJo saw that from Gene and said, I want to do that. Like, I feel like that's where this spawned from. That's just a hunch, though.
Get that. Then we're doing another one where you just get an exclusive backstage tour. We're doing this fun thing where you get a little bit of show memorabilia. So there's different things that are used within the show that we will replace every night. And so we will give that to those top tier, we're calling them dream guests on my show. Like dream guests on my podcast, but dream guests at my show.
The title makes sense. These are dream guests. These are the most brainwashed drones you could find that will actually pay you tons of money to work for you for nothing in return. I guess, other than, of course, maybe like some grease-stained clothes that were worn during the performance. That's enough, I guess. But yeah, hearing her describe it, I'm still not sold on the value. Still don't think that's worth 900 clams to go work for free for the JoJo Siwa tour. Now, I got a little curious. She is coming to Tampa, and I was tempted to buy the $900 package just to see what that's like. I wouldn't pay $12,500 to move around Gene Simmons' oxygen tank and get fucking coffee for him while he berates me and demands that I change his diaper. But I would consider paying $900 to help set up JoJo Siwa's song selection and fucking, I don't know, the sound check and bring in all the equipment or whatever else was described there. Like, that would almost be worth it as a joke, but I don't think I'll actually do it. It just seems like the joke immediately loses its luster when I show up.
In Egypt, there's a city built entirely on garbage. Just a short drive from the world's most popular tourist attraction lies a place where 14,000 tons of trash are dumped every day. Here, residents have to move mountains of garbage just to survive. With no clean water, unreliable electricity, and the constant threat of disease, life in this city is a daily battle. But sometimes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Because here, thousands of locals rely on collecting waste to support their families. And you won't believe the things they find. So, how much money do people make here? And could you survive a day in this city? We're about to find out.
There is no space, bro. You get your head cut off.
Hey, where's Luigi? Joining me on this adventure is Maget, a local guy from the community.
Hey, got your hat.
One of my goals with him is to get access into someone's home and see their living conditions, and he said that we could try this later on. Also with us is my Egyptian friend Hassant, who's never been to Garbage City before.
You're born and raised in Cairo?
Yeah, I lived all my life here. Growing up in Cairo, I was always like super overstimulated. Only in the last year that I started to appreciate its chaosness.
As we're getting our heads taken off?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Look in front of us right now. Look at the traffic jam. I'm trying to wrap my head around what we're seeing. I mean, we just like, boom, we're here, and now I'm trying to figure it out.
Our office is like 2-minute ride from here.
You never heard of this place until I messaged you.
I did know it's here. I just never like decided to come.
Yeah, it's not the most walkable. So all of the garbage here is collected from the city. People go out to Cairo, they grab it, they collect it, they bring it here. It's separated here. The people have a side business where they find like things in the garbage and they want to sell them, like watches or...
Yeah, the things, yeah. I think you live here. Yes, you are right. The people here are very honest. If you find anything like gold like this, garbage collected, please come. We found this yesterday. Yeah, give it to them. Wow. Really?
I didn't know that they take recycling so seriously.
Right.
I mean, we barely even have separated trash, like everywhere. But they're separating it manually, you know?
You know, this brought the cardboard to the factory downtown called Al Asher. Ahlan.
A lot of boxes.
This is not like storage. To take these to the factory to recycle.
Everyone's just working diligently in this back corner with like millions of boxes.
More than 90,000 people live in garbage cities, which is officially called Ansiat Nasser. The people who live here are called the Zabaleen, who are mostly poor Christians who relocated here from Giza in the 1940s. Soon after that, the Zabaleen became Cairo's informal garbage collectors. Today, about 90% of them live in self-built homes, often in slum-like conditions. They use donkey-pulled carts to collect trash across Cairo, bringing it back to sort at home. Children handle plastic, women manage cans, men focus on glass and metal, and they feed organic waste to pigs.
I'm not.
The Zabaleen recycle up to 85% of what they collect, which is much higher than the 25% average in Western countries. But their way of life is under threat. Authorities in Cairo are in talks with big garbage companies to take over waste collection, putting their economy and lifestyle. Now there are fears they might be relocated and pushed further outside Cairo. While I understand the need for formal waste management and disease control, I worry about what this means for the local people.
Everything is super organized here.
Yeah, these some buildings, storage. Bring the garbage in the first level, then they gather everything in the level.
Does everybody here work in garbage collecting? Everybody?
I know they call garbage city. Majority garbage collecting. But about 20 years, some people they bring machines to recycle plastic.
I was gonna ask you, are there a lot of like sickness here because of trash?
You know, God give them no power. Smell here is very strong, you know. But look here is very happy, their health, very strong.
Egyptian immunity.
Yes, very strong.
I will give you some tap water to drink to up your Egyptian immunity.
Yeah, totally. It really does feel like everybody's working in garbage. Like no one's doing anything else but collecting, and every single trash filled with garbage. This is how they transport things up to like the 3rd and 4th floor. They just have it on this pulley system, and they swing the bags up on a slack line. Everywhere you live in this community, there's someone doing something in all of their shops. This man just came out of nowhere. I don't know what he's fixing.
Look here, the birds.
There's a pig pen right here, but it's disgusting over here. Like flies and stepping on food. Do you have pigs for food for you? Are you eating the pigs?
Yes.
They eat the trash, the pigs?
They eat, you know, the for hotels.
Thank you. Hashish? I'm good. You can only smell this right now. I have a high tolerance for stuff. Look what they're eating. Oh my god. It smells like puke, like that. Look and it smells like puke.
Do you know why it's forbidden to eat pork in Islam? Because this is the image that we as kids show us, and they're like, why would you want to eat pig? It eats rubbish.
Oh man.
And then as a kid,
the sound of them eating that.
As a kid, you see this, and then you're like, yep, not eating that, nope.
You're just walking through a tiny alley here with light glimmering through piles and piles of trash. So you just see like one woman sitting here sorting through all this trash. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before, and it's not like one. It's like every single different house, every single different block, there's a different woman, a team of women sorting through trash.
أيوة رجالة.
How are you?
Hallelujah.
It's a garbage city. I didn't expect it to be literally garbage.
Like only garbage. There's nothing else to see or do here besides garbage collecting.
It's a bit crazy. Like I'm seeing when walking like brands of like super big premium brands, and then seeing it like on the floor.
Right.
It's a bit utopian. But just like 10 minutes away, you would have like €4 coffee, and then the coffee ends up here.
Yes.
And then stuff it up here. Just like.
How are you? What are you doing over here?
No.
I'm covering my face here because
You
pieces
think
of glass
this
within me.
before it's broken, about 50 kilogram. Now 200 to go to the factory.
How much money do you get if you resell the glass?
One like this, about 35 Egyptian pounds.
35 pounds.
LE.
There's like pieces of glass hitting me in the face. I noticed that people here, they're only like working. There's no shop, there's no restaurant.
Good question. People here came here for this area after revolution. They have, apartments, this working place here. But the flats outside. 1% live here, but 95% they have, another places to live there.
So they don't actually sleep here.
Yeah, not sleep here. The owner in this area sell it for the garbage collection. They use these for separators and have factories, but their flats another side.
Got it. How much does the average person make every day?
From 8 a.m. in the morning until 4 p.m., 250 Egyptian pounds.
9 hours a day?
Yeah, the day.
For $5. So 50 cents an hour.
People, they bring the garbage without money. No, they go to the manager of the hotel. They give it to them big money every month to collect the garbage because you recycle. Every month, about 1,000.
Where are you going?
Here to go to the work. They bring the plastic to his factory.
Good luck.
Hi.
So this is how they take it from the hotel, like that, on the truck?
This is after separated. They will go to the factory.
Is this the biggest community in the world of garbage collectors?
In the world, yes.
I had no idea that actually all the garbage gets taken from in front of our house and everything comes here. I don't know, I always thought they burn it. Respect for some things in my country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not tired of the smell yet?
I think I got used to it.
Have you traveled a bit around Africa?
Not yet, but in 2 weeks we went to Kenya.
I mean, we are technically in Africa, but it's still Middle Eastern culture.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. The problem with not identifying yourself as African, you have this culture like Africa is very different. Yes, it's important, of course, to be proud of your ethnicity, whatever, but it's not that I'm also Arab, but I'm also African.
Yeah, you're all.
Yeah.
So, how many people live here?
In all the garbage city, 90,000 majority Christian. Coptic Orthodox.
Yeah, you see, like, Jesus Christ. Most of the garbage collectors live here.
Live here, yeah. This place, yes.
We're just next to, like, all the working streets. It's just across. This is where they live.
Yes.
Why is there, like, the thing in the middle here? What is that?
Every year in August, 15 days for fasting for Virgin Mary. And they hang that blessing for the blessing.
In Egypt, Islam is the dominant religion with over 90% being Sunni Muslim, but there's a significant minority of Christians who are known as Coptic Orthodox. Their history traces back to the very early days of Christianity, way before the arrival of Islam. And I came to find out that the biggest church in the Middle East is located right here in Garbage City. It's known as the Cave Church, and it is a spiritual part of the Babylonian life. It's also been on my bucket list to check out for a long time.
We are entering the largest church in all of the Middle East. There's the second coming of Christ.
Jesus walking the water, and Jesus was Samaritan woman, and Jesus when he changed water to wine. Moses, I like Moses. The 10 Commandments here.
This church is absolutely stunning. It's literally built inside of this mountain, like caved in down here. The weather's much cooler down here. 20,000 people can pray here at once. You would never think that something like this would exist in a country like Egypt. And many of you guys watching this video probably didn't know that there are other religions living in Egypt. There is a Slavic community. There's actually a Jewish community here too, who are a little bit hidden, but they do exist. Most of Egypt is Muslim. So are there any challenges living as a Christian here?
No, the people, they love together. Don't ask people what's your religion. No. If you go to the festival, get together, eat together. Christian, Muslims, they live together. They are my brothers. With Jesus.
Do you think any of your friends know about this place?
I mean, we all know that it exists and we all know its name, and there are a couple of even jokes around its name, but I don't think anyone just walked through it like how we did. It's a very random thing. Like, you texted me, you're like, hey, I'm coming to Egypt and I have a story. And I thought you were gonna be like, I don't know, let's go to some temple, let's
That's
go
what
to
everybody does
Nile.
now. Exactly.
Let's go to Garbage City. And I'm like, huh?
But everybody knows about the temples and the pyramids. Yeah, totally wild.
So far, we are striking out on my mission to film inside someone's home. I'm dying to see where these people sleep and eat their meals, but we're just gonna have to keep on searching. That brings us to the school.
Hey guys, I just want to take a quick break to thank the sponsor of this video, Beirut Me. Did you know that your personal data is sold online by data brokers? Yes, that means that anyone can buy your personal details on the internet. You have the right to stay private and protect your personal data, and that's where Delete Me comes in. If you're like me, every day you're using dozens of apps and websites and sending hundreds of messages across platforms. You probably have too many logins and passwords to keep track of. The risk of getting hacked, like I did back in 2021, holding a victim's identity theft and losing a lot of money is massive. I personally trust Delete Me because it keeps all my information private, and I'm going to show you how it works. All right, you log into the app, you put this information in. It gives you a privacy report of every place that your data is being used online. And it shows how long it will take to remove it from those platforms. And you can see that hundreds of websites are using my data. I had no idea that my data is available in all these places, and it's really scary. If you want to protect your personal data, Delete Me is offering my subscribers a 20% off discount by scanning this QR code to visit joindeleteme.com/binge20 and using my code DELETEME.
Will soon fall. Jabal Muqattam Private School, built by French people. The nuns called Sister Sarah Manuel.
So kids that grow up here, they never leave the community.
They're very busy to collect the work separated, and they take the children from the morning until 2 p.m. in this school here. Food, feeding the children.
So some people spend their whole life here. They never leave the community.
Yeah.
You're born and raised here?
Yeah.
How has this community changed over time?
Government, they said, in the future, they change the life, but we have schools. People go here, the university, College of Medicine, Pharmacy, Engineering. My sons in the future, they will be good. Don't work in the garbage. Some of them, they live in Muqattam, high place, very expensive.
I'm stuck in the middle of a traffic jam in the street. Look at this. Absolutely insane. People are hustling here, man. Holy shit. There is no space, bro. If you are not thinking about what you're doing, if you're just walking aimlessly, you get your head cut off. How is this car working? Look at it.
Americana. Is it domestically to travel with you in America?
We'll drive this car there. Whoa! Are you okay? No lines were hurt in the making of this video.
You have slain an enemy. Yeah, big, very high.
This car is fighting
Yes. Whoa.
Look here, take this, good. Down.
It's moments like now where I wish I could speak Arabic. They got your hat. This is so bizarre. So right here, the guys are collecting all the garbage. They're bringing it in a forklift all the way up and putting it on this truck and then it's being transported. We're going up. I'm following the guy on top of the forklift. Holy shit. I'm actually like pretty high now. I hope it doesn't fall. Holy shit. Yalla. Holy shit. That was actually way scarier than it looked. I could have easily fallen.
They asked me, why America don't open for Egyptian to migrate there.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
It's
applying for 4 years every year.
I wish you could come. I don't know the answer.
Standing out is the
What was that about?
I thought I was taking video of her.
What makes you so much happier than other people?
She's suffocated. She wants to go to the mountain in the desert.
What is the best and the worst part about living here? If you could say one message to everyone in the world, what would
Too bad.
Tamam.
The funniest woman I met in my life.
Yeah. Everything she was saying. For me, it's really a mind to hear Arabic, but the because Arabic in my brain is only so much Muslim. Right. Thank you so much. Bye. That lady was really funny.
Yeah, this lady was kind of funny.
Because most women here are super shy of cameras. She's just like trying up to me. Hi. corner of town is actually life. It's like markets and fruits and vegetables and shops. You can kind of see that even in the trash, there's still life. Here's a little restaurant behind me, so you can see people eating, making bread. So there are people just kind of enjoying their tea outside their shop amidst this crazy garbage city. You're the first people I've seen eat or drink something on the streets here. The first ones. I'm okay.
You know, you are very nice people.
Thank you. So here there's a lot of life. There's shops, there's...
Yes, shopping here. Garbage collectors, every day they came here this square, they took it from here. Every night here, crowded here.
Behind me is the street corner, and then over there is the shisha corner. Everybody loves shisha.
Yeah,
it's a big thing here.
What you saw now is called ahwa.
Yeah.
Ahwa technically means coffee, but it's also said like where the place you sit and like drink coffee, tea, shisha.
But it's a male thing, right? Or women do
It's a
it?
very male thing.
So if you did it, they would look at you weird.
You're kind of not allowed to. I mean, not allowed to. You can, but it's odd.
So I find it interesting that even though Egypt is like progressing and becoming more internationally known and recognized, there's still these like gender roles in the society here.
Yeah, for sure.
As a female, do you feel like you're missing out on stuff, or it is what it is?
No, it's not tough because it's like there are just things that you need to be different. Here, I can be as loud as I want in the street, and
that's so true. Yeah.
And then if I'm
Yeah, they'll look at you like you're crazy. Yeah, people here are very loud and it's normal.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, in Vienna you can hear a pin drop on the street. They don't talk.
It felt so like, I was like, I'm a wild animal, let it go, let it go. Yeah. It's still walking the streets and I feel 10 times safer than when I was sitting in Florida when I'd walk home at night alone, like genuinely like always like looking behind me.
You feel that everywhere. It's amazing that the women are the ones working and organizing the crowd. The men are just sitting smoking shisha, the women are doing all the freaking work.
Oh, we work here.
Just having a moment here to catch my breath and just try to digest what is going on. I gotta be honest though, people here are very, very friendly. They're all waving at the camera, they're all saying hi.
People here, you know, hard work, you know, faces very smiling, you know, smile.
It is quite alarming that they have to live in this stench and the dirt and the dust and the smells. At some point, I guess it becomes normal, but for me visiting for the first time, it's a lot to handle. You're really blessed of where you came from, how easy you have it in your life, because people here, they don't have it so easy. Where are we now?
You already know Association for EPE, Association for the Protection of Environment. You already know the rug?
Amazing.
Like this?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Rug?
Wow, she's making all of it. This is an example of a thriving small business that collected things in the community. They're making invitation cards, they're making purses from the little apps with the soda cans. Very resourceful.
Walking through that, just as I'm teaching that, I meet a man hanging around outside who seems a lot friendlier than the rest.
We have a big system of the recycling in my area.
Where's your shop? Can I go look at it?
How's it like?
An ally has been slain.
We're in the back of his shop and you can see how they organize everything by color, by weight. Black, everything is black.
Very, very expensive. 1 kilo from this one crown, 40 pounds Egyptian pound.
Okay.
Ton, about 40,000. The garbage collected to collect the like restaurant, hotel, building, and come to this to
How long does it take from the beginning of when you get the trash until you finish? How long does it take?
to collect one day, but many materials and many colors. This and yellow.
Why do you separate the colors?
Different materials.
But are you selling this?
Yes.
You sell it. Okay. Hey.
Like this white bucket.
Yeah. Wow. Is your daughter?
My son.
How many hours a day are they working, kids?
Start in the morning and finish at 6.
Every day?
Yes. Every worker take 300, like $5.
$5.
But work, it's not easy. It's so hard. You should have big experience to work like this. You should have experience.
So your parents were garbage collectors, your family?
Yes, I born here.
You guys are very hardworking.
Yeah. so difficult life. Before here, no water, no building, nothing. I didn't go to school because.
How did you learn English? Your English is good.
This
really good, bro.
Step is so hard for me to learn because I have work, I have family, but I have mistakes in my English. But it's okay.
Not many, man. Your English is really good, bro. I'm serious. Are you happy? Is your life happy?
Yes, I'm happy because this is my work. I have good relationship with Jesus. About 15 years ago, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
But now, life is good.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Do you sleep upstairs? Your room?
I have a flat here, but I don't live here now. I live in Mustafa.
What is here? People sleep?
Yes.
What is the room?
My mom, first fly. Second, my brother. Second, fry, me.
Look at all the flies, man. A lot of flies.
Yes. This is my daughter.
Hi. You speak English? You're very kind. Thank you so much.
What do you want to do?
No, we don't need it. Keep your money. Keep your money.
It's okay.
No. What's happening? Explain what's happening.
He wants us to drink tea with him.
I wish I had time. We gotta keep moving.
I appreciate
I appreciate you.
And welcome. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
I hope to enjoy in my area. We need to know the government that helps people here. Some people walk about the place, hours in the day.
Visiting this man's home was a real wake-up call. Here, garbage isn't just garbage, it is survival. The future of this community is uncertain, and whether it will last is anyone's guess. I still can't believe how the Zabaleen have built their lives from what the very world throws away. If we had their resourcefulness and determination, we might see trash and life a little differently. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
On the set of the most popular live-action show in Nickelodeon history, iCarly, Miranda Cosgrove and Jennette McCurdy appeared to be great friends, and they were. However, Jennette was suffering, and nobody knew about it. Jennette was forced into acting by an abusive mother who did things you would not wish on your worst enemy, but she couldn't escape because on set she was being manipulated by a powerful Nickelodeon showrunner.
Stop laughing at the director. Show some respect, Jennette. Respect. No smiling. All right. Take $100 off her check.
Miranda, on the other hand, was raised in a loving home with parents who worked hard to keep her emotionally secure. Without realizing it, Miranda became a part of a story far more tragic than she could have imagined, and the choices she made would change Jennette's life forever. This is the dark side of iCarly, how one young girl thrived while the other barely survived. Jennette's life started out as nothing short of hell on earth. Born in Southern California to a poor Mormon family, Jennette grew up witnessing her mom, Deborah McCurdy, battle stage 4 breast cancer. After learning about her diagnosis, Deborah became a hoarder, attaching meaning and significance to even the tiniest objects. Their home quickly became suffocated by overwhelming piles of random stuff. It got so bad that Jennette and her brothers could no longer sleep in their own bedrooms and had to resort to gymnastic mats laid on the floor in the living room. It really did not feel like a home. It felt like a place of chaos and of turmoil and turbulence. Jeanette's mother always dreamed of being an actor, so she projected her own unattainable aspirations onto her daughter. And despite her daughter being a shy and uncomfortable performer, she was clearly a promising young talent, making guest appearances on Mad TV, CSI, Malcolm in the Middle, and Law & Order. Deborah's need for control went beyond strict parenting and managing her daughter's acting career. It was an all-consuming obsession that dictated every facet of Jeanette's existence. She would shower Jeanette for her until she was 11, oftentimes putting Jeanette and her 16-year-old brother in the shower together. She shaved her legs for her and performed routine breast and vaginal exams on Jeanette to check her for cancer. Her mom even taught her how to restrict her calories in an attempt to delay puberty and appear younger to land more jobs, essentially encouraging Jeanette to become anorexic.
So I asked if there was a way that I could stop the boobies from coming in, and she told me, well, there's a thing called calorie restriction.
Wow.
And it became our sort of secret and our code, and something that, as disturbing as it is, really bonded us.
Right.
It was our thing.
Yep.
No one else got this thing. We got this thing. I can look at you from across the room and know you got me and I got you. And we were just in the disease, in the sickness. But there was a connection that the sickness created that I, of course, couldn't see at the time.
Her favorite foods soon became sugar-free popsicles, applesauce, and unsweetened iced tea, and her dinners often consisted of iceberg lettuce with dressing spray and ripped up pieces of low-calorie bologna. This also made for a confusing dynamic, as Jeanette's character on iCarly was obsessed with food, constantly indulging in binge eating, which to her almost felt like a mockery of her real life. But again, nobody knew what Jeanette's mother was doing to her. Not only was she a malnourished child, but she also dealt with the same stresses of adult actors on set.
It's a good question. I remember I would cry on several occasions when it just felt like it really got to be too much, and I'd tell my mom, I don't want to do this anymore. But she would either say, like, Net, you don't mean that, or she'd say, well, we need this. So there were kind of two different arguments that she would hit me back with, and then I'd feel guilty. And, you know, would keep doing it.
Which is why when she landed the role of Sam Puckett on iCarly at age 14, she thought it would be a breakthrough moment. Everything's going to be better. Mom will finally be happy. Her dream has come true. Unfortunately, iCarly was not going to be the saving grace that Jeanette had hoped for. But the one bright spot was the close friendship she formed with her co-star, Miranda Cosgrove. Unlike Jeanette, Miranda's parents never intended to force their child into the entertainment industry. An agent discovered Cosgrove at a Los Angeles food festival with her parents. Her mother, Chris, inspected the business card but remained hesitant to put her child in front of the camera. So they started off slow, first getting her appearances in Burger King commercials and then occasionally auditioning for theater and television roles. However, Miranda's life drastically changed after securing her film debut in the comedy School of Rock. The film stars Jack Black as Dewey Finn, a down-on-his-luck musician who poses as a substitute teacher at a prestigious prep school. He then discovers his students are musically talented and secretly turns them into a rock band to compete in the Battle of the Bands. Cosgrove plays the role of Summer Hathaway, the hilariously uptight and naive band manager.
What's the matter?
You want me to be a groupie?
Well, groupie's an important job.
I research groupies on the internet. They're sluts. They sleep with a band.
School of Rock was unanimously loved by fans and critics, grossing over $131 million at the worldwide box office. Miranda performed the role of a bossy yet charmingly smug child so well that it made her the obvious choice for the role of Megan Parker in the legendary Nickelodeon teen sitcom Drake and Josh. But Miranda didn't even understand how massive this opportunity was. When I really understood I was acting, since I did it from the time I was so little, I never thought of it as a job, and I didn't realize that everybody didn't do it. Miranda was so innocent, not even knowing she was working, compared to Jeanette, who became painfully aware of her reality as her mother taught her how to starve herself to secure more acting roles to pay the bills. It's shocking to learn of Miranda's innocence, considering her character on Drake and Josh was borderline evil. Drake and Josh aired on Nickelodeon from 2004 to 2007 and follows two teenage boys who become stepbrothers after their parents get married. The two boys could not be more opposite. However, they would bond in fear of their cunning and mischievous little sister, Megan. Megan takes great pleasure in tormenting her older brothers.
What makes you think that I would have the baby?
Because you're a devious, twisted little girl. Before you ask,
Why,
yes,
thank you,
I'm
Drake.
back.
While she appears sweet and innocent to adults, she's secretly always plotting elaborate schemes to outsmart Drake and Josh.
No way. You just hustled me.
No, I didn't. I just pretended to be bad so that you'd bet me, and then I stopped being bad and I took your money.
That's hustling.
There's a word for it?
Miranda's devious charm helped solidify Drake and Josh as the most beloved and influential live-action sitcom on Nickelodeon at the time, drawing in millions of viewers per episode, peaking at 5.8 million viewers for its highest-rated special. Miranda's parents were wary of the impact that fame could have on their daughter, so they did everything they could to maintain a normal lifestyle, such as choosing to still live in the house where Miranda was born, and her father continuing to work every day at his dry cleaning business. Her parents also tried to keep Miranda in public school.
In elementary school, I just remember thinking, wow, I'm popular. All of a sudden, I don't think I was thinking about it too much. And I remember, like, the kid that I had a crush on who didn't know I existed all of a sudden talked to me. Like, it was, I think I just thought things were coming up roses.
However, by the time she reached 6th grade, her acting schedule clashed with her education, and Miranda needed to make a huge decision. It took a lot for my mom to give in. I remember her asking, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to stay in acting?" And also noticed that 10 and 11-year-old Miranda Cosgrove actually had a choice, something that most other child actors don't have. She ultimately chose to pursue acting and leave a normal life behind. Miranda immediately transitioned to private schooling on set with Drake and Josh.
I remember when I was when I was doing schooling, at first you guys were with me, and then within 6 months, you both were no longer. I don't remember if it was because you graduated or if it was because I kept saying to my mom, "Where did Drake and Josh go?"
Kevin, the teacher, you remember Kevin?
Oh, Kevin Mall, I remember him, yes.
Kevin Mall.
Well, he used to make me raise my hand. I was the only one when you guys left in the classroom.
They made you raise your hand and you were the only one in the classroom?
Yes, he said he was preparing me if I ever had to go back to regular school.
Most child actors in Miranda's position, like Jeanette, feel extremely isolated, missing out on normal childhood experiences while they spend long hours on set under the intense pressure to perform. Their social circles are typically limited to co-stars, adults, and industry professionals, which never gives them a break from essentially this made-up fantasy world they live in. But Miranda's parents made key decisions that set her on a much different path than Jeanette. The California Labor Code, Section 1308.5, requires that a parent or legal guardian be present at all times when a minor is working in the entertainment industry. Since Miranda's mom was always hovering around her on set, she kept her in check. In one instance, Miranda unintentionally ignored someone leaving her dressing room, and her mother made sure she acknowledged their presence and said goodbye. "Miranda," Chris said sharply, "someone said goodbye to you." Cosgrove stopped short and turned around. "Oh, I'm so sorry," she said earnestly. "Goodbye. It was nice to meet you." It may seem small, but enforcing normal social rules and instilling discipline into a child who could have easily turned into a diva is likely what helped Miranda become so normal.
I actually do cuss a little.
Do you?
Also,
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably.
Drake and Josh ended when Miranda was just 14 years old. With plenty of years ahead of her and obvious star power as a child actor, Nickelodeon had no choice but to build a new show around Miranda. That show would bring together two young girls who were living drastically different lives behind the scenes. Dan Schneider, who was the head producer, writer, and creator at Nickelodeon, originally planned to create a show where Miranda plays a normal girl who gets cast to star in her favorite TV show called Starstruck. However, he would ultimately scrap the idea and begin the development for iCarly, a show about a group of teenagers running their own online web show, long before YouTubers and social media influencers became household names.
We're gonna make spaghetti tacos! Edition invented by my brother Spencer, whose real name is Letitia McPeanut.
iCarly was way ahead of its time because it predicted the rise of online entertainment and showed how young people could build an audience outside of traditional media platforms. iCarly also had a real website where they asked fans to submit content and participate in challenges. The show's humor, quirky characters, and fast-paced storytelling feels like you are watching a kids-oriented YouTube channel or a Twitch show, except with an unreasonable amount of foot jokes.
And this week we found the biggest weirdo yet. There he is, peeling a banana while he waits for the bus. Now, you think he's gonna eat the banana, right? Well, think again! Yep, there he goes, doing the peel. What a freak. And that's why the new champion of Who's That Weirdo in My Neighborhood is Crazy Fruit Juice!
Miranda portrayed a character that was similar to her real-life personality, sweet, wholesome, and silly. Jeanette's character, Sam, almost hit a little too close to home. Sam Puckett was known for her tough, no-nonsense attitude, sarcastic humor, and rebellious spirit.
I got kicked out of the cafeteria for slapping Gibby with a piece of pizza.
Why did you slap Gibby with a piece of pizza?
I found it on the floor. I wasn't gonna eat it.
However, the writers included a darker side to Sam, making her one of the most complex characters on the show. She can definitely be seen as problematic and borderline toxic at times, frequently resorting to physical violence, which could make her seem like a straight-up bully.
I don't see a car. All I hear is a lot of prattle, and
She can also be manipulative, pressuring Carly into decisions that could get her friend in trouble. But looking beneath that layer, you can also see Sam as a victim of self-destructive behavior, especially considering her on-screen relationship with her mom, which again, I should remind you that nobody knew her struggles with her real mother. Her iCarly mom, Pam, was irresponsible and often absent. Sam was constantly locked out of her house, finding her own food, and was clearly lacking guidance, which may have forced Sam to develop a tough exterior.
Mom?
I know who I am.
I love you. Mother.
Well, what, you think I don't love you?
You never say it.
Well, it's not easy to say I love you to a daughter who thinks I'm, you know, scummy. I don't think you're scummy. His name's all the time. Really? Yeah, really.
iCarly is considered by many to be the greatest Nickelodeon live-action show in history, and the numbers would agree. The series averaged over 6 million viewers at its peak, and the most-watched episode, I Saved Your Life, aired to 11.2 million viewers, which is the second most-viewed telecast in Nickelodeon history. You would think Miranda and Jeanette were on top of the world, but a decade later, we would find out the horrors going on behind the scenes. In Jeanette's memoir that was released in 2022, she describes the grim experience working with the creator, which many have interpreted to be Dan Schneider. McCurdy wrote that the creator was mean-spirited, controlling, and terrifying, firing children over basic mistakes and making grown men and women cry with his insults and degradation. You can see a glimpse of this alleged behavior as Dan often walked around the set with his own personal camera, filming behind-the-scenes content to share on his personal blog, danwarp.com.
Stop laughing at the director. Show some respect, Jeanette. Respect. No smiling. All right. Take $100 off her check.
Although it seems like he is just joking, knowing what Jeanette was feeling inside drastically changes the perspective of a clip like this. Jeanette also made major accusations that Schneider supplied minors with alcohol, quoting him as saying, "The Victorious kids get drunk together all the time. The iCarly kids are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge." This allegation may have been corroborated by the actor who portrayed Beck on Victorious, who posted a TikTok that read, "When you don't remember the plotline to a single Victorious episode, but you remember going out partying every night." Jeanette even claimed that Dan would provide unsolicited shoulder massages or demand others to give him massages, to which Dan admitted to.
Let's talk about the massages. Okay. Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing. It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Looking back on some of the behind-the-scenes content with new context, many perceive Dan to be too handsy and touchy. Look at how Miranda steps away from Dan and he proceeds to make his way around her back and hugs her from behind as she seemingly freezes up. However, still to this day, Miranda has never spoken out against Dan Schneider, so we don't know if she truly had any traumatic experiences working under him. However, we do know that iCarly was the foundation of Miranda and Jeanette's friendship, even though Jeanette's mother tried everything she could to prevent it. Jeanette writes, "On set, Miranda said cuss words like sh and ass, and she took the Lord's name in vain at least 50 times a day. Mom warned me not to get too close to Miranda because she doesn't believe in God." Jeanette explained how her mother skewed her view of female friendships since she would cast them in a negative light.
My mom was always saying, Men will never really know you and they'll hurt you, but women will know you deeply and then they'll hurt you. You tell me which is worse.
As a result, Jeanette was cautious around other girls, but by now she was a teenager, and even her mother's manipulative tactics couldn't prevent her from getting close with Miranda. Miranda and I spent hours talking every day. Even though in person Miranda seemed shy and quiet, she had a distinct and hilarious personality through her written words. So many of the things she said made me laugh. Her way of observing things, people, habits, human nature. I loved her, and I was so excited we were becoming friends. Jeanette kept the dark reality of her home life a secret. She hid it from Miranda and from everyone. So the fact that her and Miranda truly became friends eliminated the idea that it could have been out of pity. It was genuine.
My best friend is Jeanette McCurdy, who was on iCarly with me, and we live really close to each other, and we have sleepovers all the time, and like I literally see her like every other day.
I'm very grateful for that friendship. It did provide me a lot of comfort in those really challenging years. My relationship with Miranda was hugely healing to my concept of women.
Jeanette's time spent with Miranda provided some much-needed relief from her chaotic personal life. Sadly, it was only temporary, as their journeys were about to go in very different directions after the end of iCarly.
The atmosphere literally couldn't be better. It's like one huge family. We all get along great. I can't think of any group of people that I'd rather get to see every day. And even though I'll see them all the time, knowing that I won't see everybody every day anymore is awful.
At the height of her fame, Miranda earned $180,000 per episode of iCarly, and she was going to use that money to fund her next venture. Jeanette, on the other hand, doesn't know what happened to the money.
Did you get to keep this money, or did all I'm curious about like the dynamic of how that works.
Well, there's a thing called the Coogan account that actually takes, or is supposed to take 15% of your money off the top and kind of put it into the child's account so that they can have at least 15% of their money by the time they're 18, and the rest of the money is kind of up for grabs. Got these papers that were saying that like the Coogan account information was never properly filed. I got that in my 20s, so that was kind of a little bit of a shock because I really have no idea kind of what was happening, and you know, my mom was in control of everything. So I don't think I saw the Coogan account money.
Additionally, Miranda released chart-topping music, performed concerts nationwide, and received several major brand deals. Cosgrove got to reap all of the benefits of being a child star, seemingly without being exposed to the horrors that come with it. And that's largely due to her parents refusing to fall victim to the complexities of raising a famous kid. After iCarly ended its 6th season, Miranda decided not to pursue a full-time Hollywood career. Instead of securing more mature roles and trying to prove herself in the industry, she decided to use her acting money to pay for college.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to still be living with my parents for a while because I want to go to USC really bad. So,
oh, you do?
Yeah, and it's not far from where I live.
Okay. And why do you want to go to college? You're already very wealthy, and I see no reason to get an education. It's just how I look at it.
My dad went to USC, so he wants me to go there.
Did your dad have a hit show on Nickelodeon when he was a kid? No. And what do you want to study when you go there?
I'm not sure. I was thinking film. That's what I...
Oh, all right. Okay, well, it all fits in the whole
Yeah, they
deal.
have a good film department.
Miranda did end up attending the University of Southern California, where she switched majors several times before landing on psychology. She even admitted that her fame helped her make new friends on campus, but her fame also made her a target, as she had multiple stalkers who got dangerously close to her. A crazy fan named Joshua Stockton allegedly started tracking Cosgrove's every move using clues from social media posts. According to TMZ, he reportedly went to her campus at USC to see her. He also sent Miranda gifts and later got upset because the packages returned unopened. He also tweeted a photo of his bandaged wrist with the caption, "Frankly, I'm tired of love, and my heart is ready to give out. Maybe I'll finish the job I started." She was granted a restraining order against the crazy fan, but then 1 year later, he violated it as he followed her on a trip to Disneyland. Joshua Stockton was given 3 years probation and will be required to complete a 1-year treatment program, including extensive psychiatric counseling. As if this wasn't scary enough, Miranda had a close call with another stalker who nearly took her life.
We saw some movie, and then afterwards it was raining, and it never hardly ever rains in LA. So I was kind of like, I don't want to go back to my place, even though my place is pretty close to Arclight. Anyway, I went to my parents' house, and then I got a call at like 3 in the morning that somebody had like died at my house, and it was the weirdest thing ever because
they had like caution tape up, and it was right in my front yard. And basically, I guess a guy came and he was like burying things in my backyard for like 3 days. He buried a lunchbox with like a milk chocolate inside of it in my backyard. And then he buried like knives and like a rope and like a bunch of random stuff. I found out later that like all that stuff was there and that he had been like pacing in my backyard with a gun. He also looked like crazy, like he was wearing like this long trench coat. But yeah, he was just like pacing in my backyard, I guess. And because I have like security cameras, so later when we looked, we figured out he was back there for like 6 hours or something, like waiting. And then somebody just drove up that had a similar car, like that kind of looked like my car, and I guess he got confused and he thought that maybe it was me driving up, which is like bad luck. And he like shot at this person like 6 times and he missed because she was in a car. She drove away. And then he set himself on fire and he shot himself simultaneously. And then later, so I got a call at like 3 or 4 in the morning. This happened probably at like 1 in the morning. I got a call at like 3 or 4 in the morning saying like, where are you? Like, can you come like to your house because someone's like themselves there. And they were trying to just like put it all together, and they still haven't really put it all together, why it happened or like what the person was doing. And then it was crazy too, they found like his car like a few blocks away, and there was like blood and like hair in the trunk, and they were like, oh, he's probably a serial killer. But they never figured out exactly like the story.
Although this experience would probably lead to lifelong trauma from others, Miranda was more upset that he prevented her from meeting new friends.
But so a couple days before the incident with the guy that came to my house, I had never met the guy before, but he came to my house, and this was years ago too, and tried to kill me. So 2 days before that happened, I had the study group at my house. And the whole time I was inside trying to get these girls to think I was cool and like me and want me to be in the group, this guy was actually in my backyard with a gun, pacing back and forth in my backyard the entire time.
Oh my God. And the girls were there?
Yes, with me and all the girls studying. And he bringing food in and trying to win them over. Because later, when everything happened and the police came, they checked the security footage, and this was 2 days before he had already been there.
While you were first trying to like have friends, there was a man with a gun in your backyard.
And then the police had to call all of the girls because for a split second they didn't know who he was, so they were trying to figure out his identity. So they called all the girls thinking maybe it was one of their ex-boyfriends or somehow related to them. And
like,
all
please
of
don't call my friends. Please don't call my friends.
I was like, please just leave them out of this. They don't have to know. They don't have to be a part of this. I don't really know them anymore.
They were. Well, how do you think? They're like, we went to our house once and we almost died.
With the exception of the stalkers, Cosgrove regained a sense of normalcy in the real world, while McCurdy stayed trapped inside the Nickelodeon hellscape.
Hey, Dan Schneider. I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Fine. Look what you've done to me.
In August of 2012, Schneider took a fan favorite from iCarly, Sam Puckett, and a fan favorite from Victorious, Cat Valentine, and created a teen sitcom titled Sam and Cat. The pilot debuted on Nickelodeon to 4.2 million viewers and was surprisingly popular, but it only lasted 1 season and was canceled following controversy behind the scenes. You see, Jeanette says that Schneider originally promised a show centered around her Sam Puckett character. So are you excited to have your own show? The creator asks. Sure, that's it? No, of course I'm excited. I'm so excited. Good. Because I could give a new show to anyone, you know? But I didn't choose anyone. I chose you. But Dan's promises were empty, as the solo show turned into a sort of buddy comedy alongside Ariana Grande. Jeanette and Ariana just barely tolerated each other, mostly because of Schneider's manipulative tactics and the obvious favoritism towards Ariana.
My co-star Ariana Grande is a burgeoning pop star who misses work regularly to go sing at award shows, record new songs, and do press for her upcoming album, while I stay back and angrily hold down the fort. I understand on a surface level why she has to miss work. But at the same time, I don't understand why she's allowed to. I booked 2 features during iCarly that I had to turn down because the iCarly team wouldn't write me out of episodes to go shoot them. Then this week happened. The week where I was told Ariana would not be here at all, and that they would write around her absence this episode by having her character be locked in a box. Are you kidding? So I have to turn down movies while Ariana's off whistle-toning at the Billboard Music Awards? Fuck this. Ariana misses work in pursuit of her music career, while I act with a box. If I wasn't such a good sport, I wouldn't be in this predicament in the first place. I wouldn't be on this shitty show saying these shitty lines on this shitty set with this shitty hairstyle. I'm pissed about it. And I'm pissed at her. jealous of her.
It's easy to see how Jeanette built up resentment towards her co-star. Every time something exciting happens to her, I feel like she robbed me of having that experience myself. As if Jeanette's internal struggle wasn't hard enough, her mother Deborah passed away, losing her battle with breast cancer. Near the end of her life, Deborah wrote Jeanette a shocking email containing things that no mother should ever say to her child.
Dear Net, I am so disappointed in you. You used to be my perfect little angel, but now you are nothing more than a little, all caps, floozy, all used up. And to think, you wasted it on that hideous ogre of a man. I saw the pictures on a website called TMZ. I saw you rubbing his disgusting hairy stomach. I knew you were lying about Colton. I had told her I was with a friend, Colton. Add that to the list of things you are. Liar, conniving, evil. You look pudgier too. It's clear you're eating your guilt. Thinking of you with his ding-dong inside of you makes me sick. Sick. I raised you better than this. What happened to my good little girl? Where did she go? And who is this monster that has replaced her? You're an ugly monster now. I told your brothers about you, and they all said they disown you just like I do. We want nothing to do with you. Love, Mom. Or should I say Deb, since I am no longer your mother. P.S. Send money for a new fridge. Ours broke.
Losing a parent is already hard, but what about losing an abusive parent that wholeheartedly admitted they want nothing to do with you? As you can imagine, this sent Jeanette's life into a dark place. To compound the stress, McCurdy was the victim of an invasion of privacy when explicit selfies of her surfaced on the internet, which ultimately led to Nickelodeon canceling Sam and Cat, claiming both actresses desired to move on to other projects. Following her mother's passing, Jeanette began to struggle with an eating disorder as well as an addiction to alcohol.
As the show was airing, her mother died of cancer. Jeanette says her life was spinning out of control, anorexia morphing into bulimia and alcohol abuse.
I was never aiming for bulimia. I was attempting to have anorexia, but I couldn't keep it up without my mom. So then that would lead to, I'd starve myself for so long, and then I'd binge, and then I'd purge because I hated the feeling of fullness. Hated it.
But Jeanette remained strong. She was not going to let her trauma destroy the rest of her life. She first sought professional help for her eating disorder.
I started with an eating disorder specialist, so it was very clinical, and we didn't get into trauma or childhood stuff. We didn't get into any of that, and I think I needed that at the time.